So today we're going to be doing a shared writing activity, and my student Courtney, she's going to pretend that we're in 4th grade, and I have this fun little passage that I'm going to have her read, and then we're going to write a summary about it. So just kind of keep that in mind while you're reading, kind of thinking about the main ideas and the important parts that we'll be writing about. And since it's shared reading, it's actually going to be like correspondence between me and you, so I won't be writing everything. Like, I'll be writing, but I won't be telling you exactly what we'll be doing. I'll be asking questions, and you'll be helping me write it. So we're going to do that together. So if you could go ahead and read this story and start with the title.
Okay, it's called Bring Your Pet Day Disaster. I had my backpack on my back and a leash in my hand. It was Bring Your Pet to School Day. My dog Jax was happily trotting beside me as we walked to the bus stop. The other kids in my neighborhood had their pets too. Josie had a fishbowl with her betta fish. John had a crate with his cat Maxie inside. Paula had a birdcage with her parakeet, Gerald, perched on a little swing. We were all excited to have our pets with us. Once we got on the bus, though, things started to go downhill. The bus was so noisy. In addition to the normal chatter of the kids, the animals would not use their inside voices, and the smell was terrible. Jack's nose was trying to sniff all the new smells, and it was hard to get him to follow me into a seat. When we were seated, another dog rushed up to us with a leash trailing behind her. She and Jack started to sniff each other curiously and started to play. "Fluffy, get back here!" I heard one of the 3rd graders shout. The dog ran towards the voice. The bus driver's voice came over the speaker. "Please hold on to your pets. It is dangerous to have them running all over the bus." Finally, we were at school. As we were walking off the bus, I stepped in a small puddle. "Ugh, someone's pet made a mess," I said to myself. I wiped my shoes in the grass once I was off the bus. Then I looked at the schoolyard. It looked like a zoo. There were animals everywhere, dogs of all shapes and sizes, colorful birds in cages, rabbits, chinchillas, and hedgehogs in the little carrying cases, and some animals running free through the grass and on the sidewalks, with kids chasing them in every direction. The end.
Oh, there's a second page.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. They were making a mess. Their food and bedding was strewn over the grass. Some kids weren't cleaning up after their dogs went to the bathroom. Fur was floating through the air. It looks like this outside. I don't want to see what it looks like inside, I thought. Then something crazy caught my eye. I saw a kangaroo hopping in the grass and a peacock strutting up the stairs. I didn't know people could have them as pets. I walked into the building to my classroom. The hallway smelled worse than the bus. There were still animals running wild and messes everywhere. My classroom was no better. Miss Dotlin looked frazzled as she instructed us to keep our pets in their cages or keep the leashes tied to our desks during class. As she was talking, she slowly started to turn into a parrot. And I woke up, sung in my bed. Wow, no wonder our school doesn't have a Bring Your Pet to School Day, I thought. As much as I love Jax, I was really glad I wouldn't have to worry about him or his messes all day at school. Now,
yes. Good job.
Okay.
So, kind of funny story. He initially was like, "You're like, oh, wow, he is having a bring your pet to school day." Everybody brought their pets, and then all of a sudden, he woke up from his dream. So, I don't know if you noticed, but after the end of the passage, it has some questions, but we're just going to mainly focus on the first one, which says, retell the story in your own words, which is basically a summary, right? And could you kind of describe to me what a summary is?
What the story was about.
Right.
All the main ideas and details.
Right.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Good. And now, instead of having you do this by yourself, we're going to do it together as a team. So I'll be doing the writing and you'll just be doing the talking. So, and I'll help you. No worries. So to begin, we're just going to try to write this in 1, maybe 2 paragraphs. So to begin it, what do we need to start with in our first paragraph? What do you usually start with your first paragraph when you're writing? like if you're like typing a paper.
Introduction.
Yeah, an introduction, but also like an indent. So we're
Oh,
gonna start
okay.
like
The format.
inside. Yeah,
Yes,
format
yes.
wise. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start inside. So I'll start my first sentence here, and then I'll come back over here and write. So we'll do that from there. So to begin, how would you start the summary?
This story.
You can use this if you
Okay.
want to look back in it.
I would put this story was about a boy who was having a dream about Bring Your Pet Day.
Right. I like it.
Basically. Yeah.
So this story basically is just talking about this boy. What's his name again? Does it have a name?
The boy's name?
Yeah.
I don't think
it
it
did,
remember.
did it?
Jax was the dog.
Jax was the dog.
I don't think it ever stated the boy's name.
It didn't, did it? Okay.
think so.
Well, we have Jax and we have the boy, which those are the two main characters. So we obviously know that it's a dream. So what did you say again? This story.
This story was about a boy. I was gonna say his name, but I didn't.
It's
I
okay.
don't think it said it.
Yeah, we'll just talk about the boy. It's about a boy. And we can kind of include his dog, because it does talk about his dog quite a few times. Well, no, because you said it was about a boy having a dream, right? So this story was about a boy having a dream, right? We'll start over here.
A dream that his school had a Bring Your Pet Day.
That is, yep, I like it. School put it in quotation marks just because it's kind of a title of the day, you know. Bring. Would your be capitalized, do you think? I think so. Yeah. Just making sure. Okay. Bring your pet. Now would to be capitalized?
Day would be capitalized?
To. Bring your pet to school.
Oh, it just says Bring Your Pet Day. I guess you could probably say that.
Just bring your pet.
Oh,
We'll just
we're
use
saying
the
to.
school day,
Okay. Yeah.
Because usually, like, since it's
To school day. Yeah.
such a small word,
Yes, ma'am.
I can't remember what kind of word is that called. I can't remember.
To school day. Disaster. Well, I don't know if we need to put that in there.
No. So the story was about a boy having a dream that his school had a bring your pet to school day, and we'll end with a period since we're not asking a question or exclaiming anything. So I'd like to probably put at least 2 good main ideas in there. So maybe a couple of really important details about it, just kind of a general summary of what happened. Because usually you wouldn't want to use specific names or anything like that. But I mean, we do have Jax, which is his dog. He's pretty important.
So we do that next thing about Jax.
So we could start it out with in his dream. We could say in his dream a lot was going on, right? And always remember a lot is 2 words. I always forget that too. So in his dream a lot of things were going on. So, do you think somewhere in the sentence a comma will be needed?
After dream?
Okay. In his dream a lot of things were going on. And we could say like maybe the first main thing, right? So
The first main thing was he was noticing all his other friends that had pets were bringing pets.
the first, we could say the first thing that happened, maybe that happened. Trying to write nice. The first thing that happened was
that he noticed all the other kids in his neighborhood had pets too.
Good. Notice all of the kids. Got some background music. Those are all the kids in his neighborhood. Right.
We could probably say have different kinds of pets because they
Yeah.
instead of just putting different.
Yeah. Have what's the word too? Different kinds of pets. Sorry, kind of different kinds of pets. Awesome. So, oh, sorry. The first thing that happened was that he noticed all of the kids in his neighborhood had different kinds of pets. So what happened after he noticed that?
Well, that they were all excited and then they got on the school bus.
Okay. So we could say like, after they got on the school bus, things happened, you know, and we can go from
Things
there.
started going downhill. We could say wrong. Things started going wrong.
So we could say the first thing that happened was that he noticed, we could start with after they all got on the school bus. School bus. They all got on the school bus. Would I need a comma right here?
Yes.
Good.
Things started to go wrong.
I like it. Started to go wrong. And line it there. Good. Okay. Then we could start back up with like maybe a couple of examples for what happened.
That the smell was really bad from all the different.
You could say, what if you were given an example, what would you start the sentence with?
Next.
You could say, or when we're given an example, we go like, for example.
Okay,
or like,
for example, comma.
Yeah, good.
Um,
And we can just do the one since we're
The
kind of running out of
smell
space.
we could say awful.
It was awful. Good.
We could say the smell was awful. Could we say that and put and?
Yeah. And
The noise was very, very loud. Or just very loud.
yeah, the noise was. We could say, what did you say? The noise was
Very loud.
Very loud. Okay. Good. And so after they're on the school bus, things started to go wrong. For example, the smell was awful and the noise was very loud, which is typical. Everybody had animals, didn't they? I don't think there was anyone that didn't have one.
Then we could say, then the school bus driver got very upset.
Yeah. Well, that one's kind of maybe a minor detail just because when things are going wrong on the school bus, like things aren't going wrong, usually you kind of maybe assume that the bus driver would be kind of like, oh my gosh, y'all need to calm down. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's okay.
I
We
think
could
the
do-
next thing then we could do
Yeah.
when they arrived at the school.
Well, things are going on. So we could say, like, yeah, the next thing, or we could say, like, we already started with after. So we go, the next
Finally.
thing.
Or no. Just when they arrived
when
at
they
the school.
arrived. Okay, yeah, I like it. When they arrived at the school, are we gonna need a
Like
comment
a-
in there?
Yes, comma. It looked like a zoo
It looked like a zoo.
because animals were everywhere.
It looked like a zoo because animals were everywhere. It looked like a zoo because Nice. Okay. So when they arrived at school, it looked like a zoo because animals were everywhere. And as he was walking to class, maybe, he noticed all of the erotic animals, right? Like the kangaroo and stuff.
So a kangaroo and a peacock.
Yes. So when they arrived at school, it looked like a zoo because animals were everywhere.
And
And
something that caught the boy's eye was
I like it. What? Can you just give one example?
peacock
Peacock. Good.
strutting up the stairs.
Nice. Straighten stuff. Okay, so let's try to maybe finish this out in the next couple of sentences. So what kind of happened after he saw the peacock?
He was thinking to himself, he didn't think that people could have them as pets,
Yeah.
and the smell was worse, and then his teacher looked very, it says frazzled, and then he just woke up in his bed.
Right.
So
So-
basically that event,
Right.
seeing the wild animals as in like wild peacocks.
Yeah, it didn't make sense, right?
So
So-
it woke him up from his dream.
Right. So something that caught the boy's eye was a peacock.
So we could say all of a sudden, could we say that?
Yes. Yeah. I think so, we could say. Trying to think. I don't bring that. All of a sudden. Or would that be all of the sudden? Yes, it'd be grammatically correct. Oh my gosh. Alright. All of the sudden. You any comment there?
Yes, ma'am. All of a sudden, the boy woke up from his dream.
What happened before he woke up though? What happened to the teacher when she was waking up?
She looked very shocked.
She turned in.
She turned to her parrot. She slowly turned into a parrot. Okay.
Yes. So all of a sudden, let's have a minor brain fart.
All of a sudden,
All of a sudden.
his teacher turns into a parrot
Okay.
that makes him wake up from his dream.
A parrot. All of a sudden, his teacher turned into a parrot. And can we include that in the same sentence? Maybe.
Could we?
All of a sudden, his teacher turned into a parrot. Well, we could stop that since we're on the show. We could be like, all of a sudden, his teacher turned into a parrot.
Then
This
or this.
this made him wake up because he's like, what the heck? How is somebody turned into a
So we
parrot?
could say this crazy event
Yes.
caused him to wake up from his dream.
What do you want to end it with? He was grateful, wasn't he?
We could say overall,
Yeah.
he was just grateful he didn't have to
I like it.
worry about bringing his dog Jax to school and all the messes
Yeah.
or all the problems he would cause.
Well, I don't know if overall would be the correct sentence starter, maybe. We could do, this is crazy because, at the end, since it's near the end of the story, right? So we could just be like, at the end.
We could say at the end,
do it overall, but I just don't know if that's. So at the end, if I can write it, at the end, the boy
was happy to know, oh sorry, you're fine. Happy to know that he didn't have to worry about bringing his dog Jax to school.
Now, so at the end, the boy was happy to know that he didn't have to worry about bringing his dog Jax to school. Do you think there needs to be a comma between dog and Jax? Or do you
Yes.
I think I want to say so.
His dog, because
Bringing his dog, because Jax is, because we could say, we could replace his dog with Jax, but since we didn't talk about Jax in here, we had to include that it's his dog. So go put like a comma there. Wow.
yes.
Well, nope, that's not working. Comma. Jax. And I think you have to have another comma, because if you took out Jax, you could be like, he didn't have to worry about bringing his dog to school. So since we included Jax in his name, we'd have to put a second comma in there. So overall, let's do the whole thing. So this story was about a boy having a dream that his school had a bring your pet to school day. In his dream, a lot of things were going on. The first thing that happened was that he noticed all of the kids in his neighborhood had different kinds of pets. After they all got on the school bus, things started to go wrong. For example, the smell was awful and the noise was very loud. When they arrived at the school, it looked like a zoo because animals were everywhere. Something that caught the boy's eye was a peacock. All of a sudden, his teacher turned into a parrot. This crazy event caused him to wake up from his dream. At the end, the boy was happy to know that he didn't have to worry about bringing his dog Jax to school. So I think that looks good. I think somewhere in there, where was the because? When they arrived at the school, it looked like a zoo because animals were everywhere. Do you think there needs to be a comma between zoo and because? I don't think so. I think we can leave it.
Because it's kind of the conjunction word to run them together.
I don't think so. Yeah, when I was in school, I was always confused about because I was never correctly taught that. But anyways, great job. That was our shared writing summary about the passage Bring Your Pet Day disaster. And you did a great job helping me write, and I hope I helped you write it, because it was a shared writing.
Yes, ma'am.
You did good. Do you have any questions, concerns, comments?
No, ma'am, I enjoyed the story.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being my student.
I didn't know he sounded a dream until the very end.
I know,
was like,
me neither.